Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of me, Chris Inman with I.D.E.A Cleveland, talking marketing.
And Vic Ing with Viking Sales Consultants, talking about sales.
So, the two of us, we're not in the same room because we're on a virtual recording, but we should always be in the same room. And today we're going to talk about stop making sales, explain your business. Okay, so what do I think that means on the marketing side is we as marketers need to explain what we do, who we work with, how we solve their problems, why they should trust us, the prospect, to do what we say we can do, and then lead them gently into the sales funnel. There shouldn't be any questions in these sales meetings like, so, what do you do? That should never be a question. How long you been doing it? Never should be a question. They should be asking very particular questions about how will our relationship work? How will you help me? Yes, because that's how the sales people can actually build real relationships of our product or service and how it can help them in particular. And it'll fill in those gaps. So you had kind of a phrase, I think, in your book, Vic, about how this kind of all comes together on that sales side, right?
Yeah, I call it the need, want conversion process. And just to clarify one thing you said, Chris, you do a great job of speaking from the marketing side, but don't forget that a lot of us salespeople, we're crazy. We can't be trusted. Don't give us this much power. And when you said that we shouldn't be asking questions about, what they do, salespeople, I'm looking directly at the camera, do your research. But Chris is right. Don't ask questions, confirm. Hey, Chris, I checked out your website. And if I have it right, you personally this and that, and you've been there, your role is this, and your company makes this widget. Do I have that right? So don't skip that part. But Chris is right. That should be 3 minutes, 5 minutes, then get to the good stuff. So the need, want conversion. I don't want to dominate the conversation. So Chris, the first need, I'll throw it back to you because you already said it. This is us as sales and marketing seeing the client's need. That's why we've built our services and products around that. Do you want to speak to that before we get to the second need, which is them seeing it?
It just goes back to why anybody would buy from us. And we on the marketing side need to explain that, who we work with well, why they work with us. There's testimonials, just all these tools that we have over here in marketing to get people thinking, oh yeah, all right, that's me. I need that too.
That's it. So even though what Chris just said, again, is right, they will say, I need that. And let's say in this scenario, they responded to something or reached out and filled out a form. And again, us salespeople are like, oh, this is as good as done. They reached out to me. What could go wrong? Well, that's what the sales meeting is all about. Clarify and confirm what the need is. And salespeople, you will see it very clearly, very quickly, but they won't. So that's the first need, is you and a little bit of them seeing the need. But now you need to, and another technique I like to speak about, Chris, the ping pong conversation technique. Hit that ball with questions. You are in control of the conversation, and they are listening when you're asking questions. Because if you go in and start talking, what you've done is you've skipped the second need and the need, want conversion, and you're going to the want. Chris, you need this. Here's why you want it too. Nope. Ask questions. Hey, Chris, so you want to get to the pain. Tell me what it's like today without this in your life. And they're going to try to push you along if they're really excited and go, yeah, I want that. Well, I don't know if you do yet. Answer my question. And you keep asking questions to get them to live in that world of pain. Then you take them to what it looks like without that pain. What is that ideal state? And that's the second level of need. Because now, Chris, wouldn't you agree? If it's done right, now they really do see the need. It's not quite a want yet. So what are your comments on that?
Let's think about this. How do we as marketers help you find the needs? Let's eliminate some of this. Could it be the form that they fill out when they actually book the meeting? Is it the forms they fill out when they actually go through and get the download? Let's say it's a white paper or whatever the case may be. Get more information. Take as much data. You don't need to make everything required. Take as much as they'll give you. There's advantages there. And the advantages on the other side, Vic's team could then take that information like, oh, okay, we know this. These are variables that we know. They can now research and go back and be like, okay, we know this is a pain. How are we now going to actually pull that pain out of them in that conversation and talk about how we are the solution for that pain? So we need to give them more information. There's this thing called the Big Brother marketing. We're allowed to talk about it here, but don't tell any secrets. Let's say we create a newsletter and they click on an article. In our newsletter data, we know who clicked on that blog. If we put that into the CRM, they were interested in this article about XYZ. Now the sales team knows that. This is where the communication can really become beneficial. We're getting data over here on the marketing side. Let's give it to salespeople. We do not need to be the gatekeepers of what is quality information. Let them decide what they feel is necessary, but give them everything that we can.
I love it. And again, to what I said before, it's okay to bring this in the room. In fact, that's into the room with the client, the prospective client. That's the whole point. But there's a way to do it. And I don't want to go into pure coaching, but I'm going to make this really simple and maybe kind of gross, but at Target knows the department store, right, or whatever you call it, knows their target audience. Maybe that's why they're called Target. And anyway, they'll put something on an end cap because they know there's a need for that person in there. But you see the need by picking it up, by seeing what it's around. And the stinky part I was going to get into, the gross part is, let's say it's deodorant. And it's right there next to something that they know. Now, they're not going to say stinky armpits. You need this deodorant. And if you're in a sales meeting, you're not going to go, tell me, Chris, about the last time that stinky armpit problem lost you a sale. We may edit all this out, but we'll see how it rolls.
No,
but what you're going to do, though, is ask questions about how important is it to you that you present yourself in such and such manner. So back to what you said. Marketing may grab this information, but don't go in and go, so you filled out the website and said that you have a real problem with stinky armpit disease. No, you're going to ask about how important the factors that affects is presenting yourself to their target audience or whatever. And by doing so, now the need is floating around the room. We both see it. Now let's get to that third part, need, want. Now they understand the need. You understand the need as well, more clearly. How do you convert that to a want? You mentioned pricing a little bit ago. Let's hope that that's not what it's all about, but it might be. It depends on the business, right?
Yeah, and I feel that you can eliminate some of those questions in a very unique way on the marketing side too. Because with your images, the people that you put in your commercials, the people that you put in your flyers, the people that you use in your marketing materials, if those aren't the people that are buying, then don't put them in. You need to have people dressed a certain way, driving a certain car, living a certain lifestyle, walking around in a certain neighborhood. If the stinky armpit people that you're going after are athletes, you don't need to show non-athletes in your commercials, in your marketing materials. You need to show athletes because maybe the stinky armpit people are the people that work out. And so you need to be adjacent with the athletic trainer, sporting, marketing materials. And that's where you go. That's where you put this type of material. So I think that's really important to think about, and that's where marketing needs to have these conversations with sales. Because if sales goes, hey, we have 100% sales rate. Let's just use the deodorant, even though no one's selling deodorant on a call. But it's easy. I have 100% sales rate to get everybody over the age of 70 that plays pickleball to buy our deodorant. Interesting. Marketing needs to take that material, that knowledge now, and go back and think about it. Okay, if we get 100% sales because people that play pickleball over the age of 70 buy it, all right, where are those people at? What materials can we put out there? What marketing, what magazines, whatever the case might be. Where can we get in front of those people more? Where can we get in front of those people more? And that's where marketing actually succeeds, because now we're taking what we think is a home run and we're going to get more of it. And that's what we want to do.
I love it. And even though I brought up this weird example, I like analogies that resonate with people. Let's do this. So entrepreneurs, though, Chris, listen to what you were just saying, and they want to take it a step further. Yeah, I'm talking to you watching this and listening to this. You want to go, well, that's great, but I want to sell deodorant to everybody. But think of the fortune that could be made if just 70 and plus people playing pickleball bought your product. That's a huge demographic. And I see this pattern a lot with my clients, business to business, especially, Chris. I'll say to them, how many clients do you have? And I don't get a huge number. I get a small number that's somewhere between 5 and 50, if even, maybe 5 and 20. And then I say, where do you want to take your business? Let's say they want to double it. Do the math, right? Okay, so 5 more clients and you're there. Okay, so back to this is, if we're then selling to the pickleball venues to feature your product there, and each of them have 200 people coming in, and I don't know, I'm making up numbers, but it's, venue equals hundreds of pickleball players, then you only need 10 of these venues to capture half the people buying your product, right? Small numbers add up to big numbers. So we've come back to a core concept. What's your ideal client? You can't be everything to everyone. That's a crazy made-up example. I hope you followed us on this journey. But right there, I'm excited because, man, that is easy sales. Selling is easy is the name of my book. And if you could corner that market, Chris, I'm excited. How about you? That's some money to be made.
I'm not making pickleball deodorant, but that's all you. Now, let's take it back a step here. So let's talk about a professional service person. How many leads or warm introductions do you need to close a client? You should know that number, right, Vic?
Well, yeah, people should, although I'll qualify that. If their close ratio, like I met with a client recently whose close ratio is 20%, they're not happy with that. And from what they shared with me, they could be doing better, because what their biggest pain is that they brought to me, Chris, is that they're spending time fielding calls and leads from their website, because their website is broad out of fear, and trying to get to that niche person. Whereas you and I know if they just
so their
had the
marketing's
niche,
not niching it down.
if it was
Their
niched
marketing's
already,
right.
they'd be spending less time at the very top of the funnel. But then they're going to these meetings and they're trying to, circle, square, peg, right? That whole thing.
Yes.
And it's not working. So back to your question, I mean, their close ratio should be way better than 20%. So, how many leads do they need? Not as many as they have now,
So
right?
let's say you're a CFO. How many fractional CFO positions are you looking for if that's your job? I don't know, 6, 5? Not very many, right?
That's it. You hundreds of dollars an hour bill rate, you're fine.
Oh, no. Let's say 10. So it's easy math for us. And let's say you currently have 5 clients. And in the next 5 months, you want to get 1 new client per month, because it's easy to onboard 1 new client per month. It's easy for me. I like 1 new client per month myself. So in the next 5 months, even let's say they have a 20%, like you gave these people that you said should be better. That means they need 5 introductions, 5 warm leads over the next 5 months. That's all they need, and that equals success. What can we do in the sense of marketing to get us those 5 introductions? I am really leading hard in 2026 on in-person events. You take the digital world, you bring them into your real world, and that's how you close deals, especially I think if you're a CFO. I think that's a great way. Take your digital people, bring them in together, boom. If you can get 5 people to show up to an event that you have talking about whatever that is, whatever the nerdy stuff that CFOs do, and you can convince one of them, not convince, but you've able to build a relationship that they trust you and they want to hire you.
Go through the need, want conversion.
The need, want conversion, yes. And they go through this path and they hire you. That's the whole thing where marketing is doing its job. You don't need to have 5,000 people. If your close ratio is 20%, you need 5. And that's why I think it's important that you know your close ratio. It's
beautiful. And again, the theme here, if everyone's paying attention, I know there's different businesses out there, but it's small numbers add up to big numbers. Even if you're a business to consumer model, I'm yet to see, aside from your pure e-commerce, but I don't think we're dealing with Amazon.com people. You're selling through a channel. Those are small, like my pickleball example. Go to the venues. You need 5, right? And that'll each gets you to 200 people or what have you. So less is more, right? Is something that I see all the time come up. And I love what you said too. Hey, 6 people, right? I need to go to the next networking event. I got to go to more. The goal is not to make your world bigger. It's to make your world smaller. So what you just said, wouldn't it be better? Well, here's a saying that I let's see if I butcher it, but I came up with this a few weeks ago and thought I was so smart. It's better to be in the corner of the right room than front and center of the wrong room. So create your own event, create your own venue. And if only 5 people show up and 1 of them, 2 of them, 2.5, whatever that means, becomes a client, there's 50% close ratio. That is great. Instead of going to an event with 50 people, but they're not your target audience and they don't even want to talk to you. So are we saying the same thing?
100%. And I think that's where people have to get this mindset about, how many leads do I need? What does marketing really need to accomplish for me? And if you simplify it in the backwards way, how many leads does some sales need? to get to our sales goal. All right. Marketing, that's how many people we need. Okay, how do we get that many people? What is their pain point? How do we get them into this? Like, you gotta work in reverse. And that goes back to knowing who you're attracting too, which the sales team should be able to help us figure that out. It's this whole backwards motion. I see too often everyone wants to start with the marketing. I see that the guy down the street is using TikTok. Okay, who's his ideal client? Where do they at? Like, okay, what's his sale? Like, how's this leading to him making more money? He had 1 million views because he had the accounting department dancing. Okay, that's fabulous. How many sales did he make off that? Because I thought they were a power washing company that power washed houses. So what's that to do with dancing accountants? I don't know. I would love to hear how this worked out, because maybe I'll learn something today. Oh no, he didn't get any sales, but think of the branding that he got out of that.
We're back to my scales. I don't want to take away the joy that people get from having their accounting department dance and be on a video. If that feeds your soul and is your happy place, okay, but balance it with the data. What do the numbers show? And if it's 1 million clicks or views equals 0 sales, you're out of whack. So good for you. You can become a, I don't know, what's the term, an influencer, a professional TikToker, or you can decide to align the things with your business. TikTok may be the answer, but we're coming back to the same theme. It may not be 1 million views. It's the 10 right views that could be the right answer. So, and we hear this a lot. Oh, I did this post and Chris got 10 people to comment and I only got 1. Yeah, but what were the results? What was the end result? That's all I care about. Right?
Exactly. It's the only thing they care. And then, we can get into a whole thing about how there's people on social media that aren't even liking or commenting.
Oh, yeah.
Send you a direct message or an email like, oh, I really like that post. There's interaction happening outside of that you don't even know about.
It's not a coincidence that I scheduled a LinkedIn social media post for 7 a.m. this morning. And about 7:30 a.m., I got a message from somebody who I hadn't heard from in a while that said, hey, I was thinking about talking to you. And salespeople, you'll love this. They said, what are your rates? So I successfully will navigate that into a proper discussion before we get to rates, although my rates are pretty set. But I don't want to lead with that. But hey, is it a coincidence? No. There is no like or comment from that person. But I know because they messaged me on LinkedIn, it was because of my timely post this morning that was on brand. It was about what we're talking about. In fact, it was called, Chris, you are not your ideal client. It's the same things we're talking about every time we
I really like that post. I'm going to comment on it too. And I said, why would I hire myself? I already have one of those experts in my bit.
That's right. So, and I got some good things from that. But again, I think that this person they're invisible. That is the person who saw it. And that was, I'm not going to try. Marketing is a scary thing for me. That's why you're here, Chris. But all I know is I felt obliged to put a thought out there. It was my happy place, but I think the data is going to show that it got results. Out of my 3 comments, 5 likes, and 1 message, I'll take it every day.
Yes. And I think we're great examples at this. To kind of wrap it up, is like, we're not going after 100 people. We don't need 100 referrals in a month. Man, I wouldn't even know what to do if I got that. We're both going after small numbers of referrals. Personally, lately, I'm at like a 33%. So you give me 3 good referrals, I'm going to close one of them, and I'm happy for the month. Like, yes, I'll take another client. What I'm saying, though, is that's my sales goal. And that's where my business can succeed and grow at a pace that I want it to grow.
Love it. And there's a lot we can go into, and I know this is running long, but my close rate's about 1/3 as well. But that's from a high part of the funnel down to the bottom. I have a key step in there, and I work with my clients to create steps that move them along so it doesn't feel salesy. My close rate's about 95% from the next key step. So it's 1/3 up here, but if I can get them to this step, I got them. And guess what? They want to be gotten, right? That's the whole point.
Yes. And that's the thing. No one's booking a meeting with you or sending you a message on LinkedIn if they don't want more information, they don't want to be sold to. They want to be sold to because you're solving a problem for them. And it's up to you now to follow through and make that happen.
It's your business to lose. Simple as that. All right. Okay. This was good.
So
I hope we take people to their happy place here.
Okay, so we always like to leave somebody with 2 things they should be doing. What do you have on the sales side they should be doing after watching this?
So make sure that the rooms you're in, whether they're digital rooms, your posts, or physical rooms, are where your ideal clients are hanging out. Because more is not less. Less is more. Go find out where I'm not saying to stalk. Don't hide in the bushes, people. But the next best thing is to figure out where your ideal client is at and go there. And if it doesn't exist, create it. Host an event and invite the people you want in the room.
What about you, Chris? Marketing, and I'm going to say know your numbers. You got to know how many leads you need to equal success in your sales side. I love how we flip-flop today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation, and I hope it helps your marketing and your sales for your business.
Happy selling.